Good Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We have your news headlines coming up on this hump day. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's entertainment spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with actor Farley Jackson. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Wednesday headlines. In national news, moment of silence marks years since George Floyd's death. George Floyd was honored Tuesday with a moment of silence in the city where he died at the hands of police, a death captured on wrenching bystander video that galvanized the racial justice movement and continues to ripple a year later. Floyd's sister Bridget and other family members joined Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, citizens and activists at a downtown park to observe the moment at an event that included music and food trucks. It's been a troubling year, a long year, Bridget Floyd told the crowd, but we made it. They said with God all things are possible, and I'm a true believer in that. The love is very outpouring today. The love is here. George is here. A moment of silence was also held in New York, and a rally was held in Los Angeles to honor Floyd. Globally, a rally took place in Germany, and Floyd's death was marked by U.S. embassies in Greece and Spain. A family-friendly street festival was also planned at a Minneapolis intersection where Floyd died. The intersection of 30th and Chicago has been barricaded since soon after Floyd's death. It quickly turned into a memorial and a challenging spot for the city, with police officers not always welcome. Floyd, 46, died May 25, 2020, after then-Officer Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck, pinning him to the ground for 9.5 minutes. Chauvin was convicted last month of murder and faces sentencing on June 25th. 3 other fired officers still face trial. In more national news, Moderna says its COVID-19 shot works in kids as young as 12. Moderna said Tuesday its COVID-19 vaccine strongly protects kids as young as 12, a step that could put the shot on track to become the second option for that age group in the United States. With global vaccine supplies still tight, much of the world is struggling to vaccinate adults in the quest to end the pandemic. But earlier this month, the U.S. and Canada authorized another vaccine, the shot made by Pfizer and BioNTech, to be used starting at age 12. Moderna aims to be next in line, saying it will submit its teen data to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and other global regulators early next month. The company studied more than 3,700 12 to 17-year-olds. Preliminary findings showed the vaccine triggered the same signs of immune protection in kids as it does in adults, and the same kind of temporary side effects such as sore arms, headaches, and fatigue. In more national news, GOP senators ready $1 trillion infrastructure counteroffer to Biden. Senate Republicans are preparing a $1 trillion infrastructure counteroffer to present to the White House by Thursday, reviving negotiations over President Joe Biden's sweeping investment plan ahead of a Memorial Day deadline for progress toward a bipartisan deal. Republicans sounded upbeat Tuesday after both sides had panned the latest efforts. Biden had dropped his $2.3 trillion opening bid to $1.7 trillion. Republicans had nudged their initial $568 billion offer up by about $50 billion. The Republicans said their new $1 trillion offer, spreads over 8 years, will be aligned with what they discussed with Biden in their first Oval Office meeting almost 2 weeks ago. At the White House, Press Secretary Jen Psaki struck a similar tone of optimism. We expect this week to be a week of progress. The sweeping infrastructure investment in particular faces a crucial moment. The White House is assessing whether the president can strike a bipartisan deal with Republicans on his American Jobs Plan, a top domestic priority, or try to go it alone with Democrats if no progress is made over the next week. Biden's allies in the House and Senate are preparing for all scenarios. And finally, in entertainment news, new this week, Friends again, Mike Tyson doc, and Cruella. Here's a collection curated by the Associated Press entertainment journalists of what's arriving on TV, streaming services, and music platforms this week. Cruella is available to rent on Disney Plus starting on Friday. This live-action movie starring Emma Stone and directed by Craig Gillespie is at best very loosely related to the 1961 animated film 101 Dalmatians. There are dueling biopic series ahead on Mike Tyson, but for now, the boxing great is getting the documentary treatment in a two-part ABC News special that starts airing this week. Mike Tyson, the Knockout, promises to examine his career and life roller coaster and address pressing questions about resilience and reinvention. And finally, the gang from Friends is getting together again. The pandemic delayed but didn't stop HBO Max's Friends: The Reunion, a celebration of the hit comedy that aired from 1994 to 2004. The special debuts on Thursday on the streaming service. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, we're all ears.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Your possibilities are only as limited as you allow them to be. You might be filled with idealism about the kind of future you want to create. Maybe you know where you would like to be in your personal, work, or spiritual life. You may just be starting the process of deciding what steps to take. Before you begin taking your steps, know what life you want to create. Now is the perfect time to sit down, write a list of goals, then write down the list of possible actions you take to meet these goals. Give yourself permission to write down any and all ideas that come to your mind. Remember, your possibilities are only as limited as you allow them to be. And as always, enjoy the day.
Actor Farley Jackson is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Actor Farley Jackson joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his acting journey and what it's been like for him to do work that he loves and to share it with the world. Here's a bit of our conversation. What has this reflection been like for you, Farley, to be able to think about what you've been able to do and where you are right now?
Oh, man. Just number one, highly appreciative, very, very thankful, and it's just, it is, I'm just in a different space I'm in a different space now than I was maybe even a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago. So the growth, the internal spiritual growth has been just phenomenal, and I must admit that's why that spiritual growth is why I'm experiencing such epic acceleration in my career right now, and in my life. Period. Just in my progression as a man.
Yeah. It's interesting here you say that, Farley, because when I was prepping for this, it's almost like if people are following you like on Instagram, where there they can find you at I am Farley Jackson, what they'll find is not just, of course, your acting, but also, other interests you have as well. You are literally, it seems like, a fighter, but I think it's a great way to kind of look at it illustratively in life. Have you always known that you had to fight for what you wanted?
Yes. That's actually been an underlying, and at my, especially in my early times, early stages of my life, has been an overlying factor. Is that where I'm at today? It's been a continuous fight.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back to you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.